Hey everybody, Graham here. So a story broke that I think is worth underlining because I think it's kind of important. I'll give credit where it's due here. This came to my attention via the quartering, and so I think it's important to credit Jeremy for, I won't say breaking the story, but at least bringing it to my attention. So the story is that Kiwi Farms has been under attack. And let me just disclaim here and say that I have very mixed feelings about Kiwi Farms. I certainly think it should be allowed to exist, but I do not like the fact that they allow doxing. Now, what they will say is that their doxing is all publicly available information that they're just reprinting. That may be true, but, that doesn't mean that you have to, gather it all up and tie it up in a nice little package for people. Regardless, they've been under attack, and the person who is the main leader of the attack is now targeting Cloudflare. Cloudflare, of course, being the hosting service for a huge number of websites. And so they have been after Cloudflare to shut down, to disallow service to Kiwi Farms. And Cloudflare has made a statement that basically they're not going to do that. And I think that's important. I think it's really important. And I think there's some interesting stuff in their statement. So let me go through this now. I'm not going to read this whole article here. This is from Bloomberg. In a blog post Wednesday morning, in a response to, quote, questions that have arisen, unquote, executives compared Cloudflare to a telephone company and said turning off security services because the content is despicable is the wrong policy. The security services they're talking about there are the security that part of the way they're trying to take down Kiwi Farms is with a giant DDoS attack. And the site was actually down for a few days because of it. It's back up now, and the owner says that he is reinforcing their infrastructure to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But Cloudflare also provides a good deal of the security in that department, and so they've been asked to remove that security. Terminating security services for content that our team personally feels is disgusting and immoral would be the popular choice, according to a joint statement from Chief Executive Officer Matthew Prince and Alyssa Starzak, the global head of public policy. But in the long term, such choices make it more difficult to protect content that supports oppressed and marginalized voices against attacks. Now, my own feeling is that free speech is valuable for its own sake, that it doesn't need any justification. But if you want some justification, that's a very good one right there. Cloudflare has terminated services for a select few sites in the past, including the white supremacist site Daily Stormer and the controversial forum 8chan. In the blogs, executives noted that after these moves, the company saw an increase in authoritarian regimes asking for the termination of services for human rights organizations. Quote, just because we did it in a limited set of cases before doesn't mean we were right when we did or that we will ever do it again, unquote, they wrote. That's amazing. I'm completely astonished that a company would put out a statement like that, basically saying that free speech is right and the people trying to shut it down are wrong, and that they shouldn't have shut down a website like the Daily Stormer. Since then, Cloudflare has had discussions with policymakers that led executives to conclude that the power to terminate security services for sites was not a power that Cloudflare should hold. Imagine that. Corporate executives, explicitly disclaiming a power. That never happens. Not because the content of those sites wasn't abhorrent, it was, but because security services most closely resemble internet utilities. Cloudflare executives also draw a stark distinction between their web security services that host and services that host content. The company said the vast majority of its customers don't yet use its hosting products, while Cloudflare says it doesn't provide security services to sanctioned organizations for individuals or illegal content in the U.S., quote, We believe that cyber attacks are something that everyone should be free of, even if we fundamentally disagree with the content, the executives wrote. I'm consistently being blown away here because no one ever stands up for free speech just as a principle, just because it's the right thing to do. All of these companies will bend the knee when there's enough pressure from the left, and it's always from the left. They never bend the knee when there's a lot of pressure from the right. But it would be very easy for them to throw the farms off of their services and run around talking about how they've defeated the haters, dealt a blow to the far right. And by the way, they refer to Kiwi Farms as a far right site. There are definitely some far right people on there, and they talk about far right people quite a bit, but I don't think everybody who posts there is far right. And in fact, I think there are a number of pretty hard leftists who post there as well. They don't really talk about politics except in the discussions about the people that they cover. You know, people like Nick Fuentes and Ethan Ralph, who definitely are far right. So that would have been so easy for them to do, and they're not doing it because of principle. And I think that's amazing. I think Cloudflare deserves a huge amount of credit, and I would certainly use their service if I had a need for it, just because I appreciate that so much. I've been a free speech advocate for at least 30 years. I've done actual volunteer work for it and stuff like that. Not so much lately, but, you know, when I was younger and had time for that sort of thing. But I have been disturbed by the extent to which platforms like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Twitch and name your platform will dump people because of their politics or because they have talked about something that challenges the conventional wisdom. So I just want to say a big thank you to Cloudflare, not because I'm a huge Kiwi Farms fan, but because I'm a huge free speech fan. Well done, guys. Very much appreciated. That's about it for today. I will catch you guys in the next one. Graham out. Bye.